The meaning of life. Andrew, philosophers have debated it for millennia. Religions have been built around it. And yet, a recent study showed that 89% of people still struggle to define what gives their life true purpose. Today, we're exploring this fundamental question that shapes everything we do.
That's such a striking statistic, Pappy. How do you think we can break down such an enormous question into something more manageable?
Well, what's fascinating is how this question operates on two distinct levels. There's the cosmic, why are we here? And then there's the personal, what makes my life worthwhile? Viktor Frankl's research showed that people who find personal meaning are 2.5 times more likely to report life satisfaction.
Hmm. Wow, that connects well with the three elements Frankl identified: significance, coherence, and purpose. How do you see these playing out in real life?
You know, it's interesting. A recent Gallup poll found that only 34% of people feel strongly engaged with their work, yet many people seek meaning in their careers. The key seems to be aligning our actions with our values, regardless of the specific domain.
That's quite telling about the gap between where people look for meaning and where they find it.
On top of it, and here's what's surprising, studies show that people who focus on creating meaning rather than pursuing happiness report 30% higher life satisfaction scores. It's like the meaning is this backdoor to well being that we often overlook.
So, how do different philosophical traditions approach this search for meaning?
Well, existentialists like Sartre argued that we're essentially condemned to be free, responsible for creating our meaning. Meanwhile, research from the Harvard study of adult development shows that strong relationships are the strongest predictor of both happiness and meaning.
That's fascinating how empirical research often validates ancient wisdom about human nature and purpose.
And get this, neuroscience is now showing that having a strong sense of purpose changes brain structure, increasing gray matter in regions associated with personal identity and emotional regulation. It's true that meaning shapes our minds,
That biological connection underscores how fundamental this quest for meaning is to human nature.
right? And what's particularly interesting is how meaning making evolves through different life stages. Research shows that people in their 20s often find meaning through achievement, while those in their 40s and 50s increasingly find it through legacy and contribution.
How do you think technology and modern life are affecting this search for meaning?
Well, social media has created this paradox. We're more connected than ever, yet studies show that 61% of young adults report feeling seriously lonely. The data suggests we need to create meaningful connections rather than passive ones actively.
That highlights the difference between quantity and quality of connections.
Of course, and here's something counterintuitive. Research shows that people who face significant adversity often report deeper levels of meaning in their lives. Challenges create opportunities for meaning making that comfort can't provide.
That reminds me of the nihilistic perspective. How do you reconcile that with these findings about meaning?
You know, what's fascinating is that even nihilism can be a pathway to meaning. Studies show that people who question everything often end up constructing more robust personal philosophies. It's like doubt itself becomes a tool for meaning making.
That's quite a different take on nihilism than most people have.
And here's what ties it all together. Recent research in positive psychology suggests that meaning isn't something we find like a hidden treasure, but rather something we construct through three key activities: contributing to others, understanding our life story, and transcending the self.
Those sound like universal human experiences, regardless of culture or belief system.
Precisely, and that might be the most meaningful insight of all, whether through science, philosophy, or lived experience. We keep coming back to these core human needs for connection, purpose, and understanding. The question itself becomes part of the answer.
Pappy, that's a powerful way to frame this ongoing journey of meaning making.
And perhaps, Andrew, that's precisely what makes life meaningful, not the destination, but the shared human experience of searching, questioning, and growing together. The data shows we're all in this quest together, even if our paths look different.